Hello, my name is Deidra Peters, and today we're going to talk about the grassland in the Savannah. So, some different aspects of the grassland in Savannah. With any field you look at, you will notice the vegetation typically first, and that vegetation is considered your primary producer, and that will be the lowest trophic level in terms of a food chain. So next up would be your herbivores. These herbivores will feast on the grass to gain their energy, or any vegetation to gain their energy, and because they're relying on a separate biomass, by definition they are a consumer. So herbivores, in respect to savanna grasslands, you might find gazelles, kudu, bushbuck as the next trophic level above primary producers, and then they are considered your primary consumers. And then the next step up above that would be your carnivores, which would be your secondary consumers, because they prey on herbivores. Specific to the grassland savanna, you might find lions, cheetahs, hyenas. So we just looked at the different trophic levels and how energy transfers on up. Well, another type of relationship might be mutualism rather than animals preying on other animals. Both species here benefit from the relationship. So an example would be birds on the back of the buffalo eating insects. The birds are gaining their nutrients, their energy from the insects, while the buffalo, it's being relieved from having those insects, those flies on it. So we can see something similar like that around here with cattle and cowbirds. And then I've even seen some birds on deer before. So mutualism isn't just specific to the grassland. It can be seen anywhere. Another type of relationship between two organisms would be parasitism. And this is more one-sided. This is where one organism lives on the host and gains all the nutrients it needs. And this would be kind of like a tick on a zebra. And, we have ticks here in West Virginia, so that's nothing new to us. I really like this slide. This is basically kind of like a food web. At the bottom, you can see your primary producers. You can see the stargrass, the red oak grass there, and different things, different insects like a grasshopper or harvest ant. You got termite or hare might be feasting on that, and those are some of your smaller primary consumers I just listed. But then you have some larger primary consumers such as the wild boar, or the wildebeest, not wild boar, the gazelle and impala. Those are larger but still primary consumers that's feasting on your primary producers such as your vegetation. And then the next trophic level would be your secondary consumers, followed by your fourth most tertiary consumers. Well, going back to your secondary consumers, you have your aardvark that would feast on ants, or even the mongoose that might feast on a dung beetle, or and then your tertiary is your larger predators that will feast on mainly your larger primary consumers such as your wildebeest, your gazelle, your impala, because they're going to have to exert energy to take down, one of these larger animals, but the amount of energy and nutrients they're going to get out of them is going to be more worth their time. So you will see mainly the lion and hyena going after the bigger things like the gazelle, the wildebeest, and stuff like that. So there are basically two seasons in the savanna. There's the winter, which is your dry season, and the wet season, which is the summer. The summer is mainly where you'll see things producing. It'd be considered your growing season. Where your winter is dry, your plants have to adapt in a way that they they get all their growing, most of their growing done during the summer months because, plants need water to survive. And, well, during the dry season, there's only about 4 inches of rain. So, there's not going to be much growing that they can do. So, the summer months kind of is the guide of setting that energy allocation for the year in terms of the calendar for all the plants and stuff. So, and then energy gets transferred on up through there. So your dry season lasts from October through March. So plants have to produce enough to support the whole ecosystem during those summer months. And here are my references.